California, Golden State, a killer stalked. He started quietly, small crimes, then escalation, breaking into homes, tying up victims, awful acts. He moved from Sacramento south. Terror grew. He changed, became more violent, more brazen. Police were baffled. Years passed, more attacks. He escalated to murder, shooting couples in their beds, always at night, always brutal. Fear gripped California. The press gave him a name, the Golden State Killer. The killer taunted the police relentlessly. He sent letters filled with cryptic messages and threats. Each letter was a puzzle, a game he played with the authorities. He made phone calls at odd hours, his voice calm and mocking. He reveled in the chaos and fear he created, believing himself to be untouchable. The police were on edge, their frustration growing with each taunt. They knew they were dealing with a cunning and dangerous individual. The killer's arrogance was his downfall. He underestimated the determination and skill of the detectives. They meticulously pieced together the clues, connecting the dots on a map of terror. The letters, the phone calls, the fear, it all led to one inevitable conclusion. The killer thought he was invincible, but he was wrong. The police were closing in, and his reign of terror was about to end. The game he started was over, and justice was on its way. Science was advancing, DNA technology was improving, police never gave up, they collected evidence, they waited. In 2018, a breakthrough. Genetic genealogy, a new tool. This revolutionary method combined traditional genealogy with DNA testing, allowing investigators to trace familial lines and identify suspects who had long eluded capture. It was a game-changer in the world of forensic science, opening up new possibilities for solving cold cases that had stumped detectives for decades. Police used it to track the killer. They meticulously combed through genetic data, building family trees and narrowing down potential suspects. The process was painstaking and required a high level of expertise, but the results were undeniable. With each new piece of information, they got closer to unmasking the elusive criminal who had terrorized communities for years. They found a match, a name: Joseph James DeAngelo, an old man, living a quiet life. DeAngelo had managed to blend into society, hiding in plain sight. He was a former police officer, which made his capture even more shocking. The man who had once sworn to uphold the law had been living a double life, committing heinous crimes under the cover of darkness. He thought he had escaped justice. He was wrong. The arrest was swift and decisive. Police officers moved in under the cover of night, ensuring that DeAngelo had no chance to flee. The moment the handcuffs clicked shut, it marked the end of a decades-long manhunt and the beginning of a new chapter in the quest for justice. The arrest shocked the world. News of DeAngelo's capture spread like wildfire, dominating headlines and capturing the public's imagination. People were stunned that the Golden State Killer, a figure who had become almost mythical in his elusiveness, had finally been brought to justice. The story was covered by media outlets around the globe, each new detail adding to the growing sense of disbelief and relief. The Golden State Killer had a face. For years he had been a faceless monster, a shadow lurking in the night. Now the world could see the man behind the mask. His mugshot was plastered across screens and newspapers, a stark reminder of the evil that had been hiding in plain sight. The criminal profile board filled in the gaps, painting a picture of a man who had led a double life, evading capture for far too long. A name, a past. As investigators delved deeper into DeAngelo's history, they uncovered a life marked by contradictions. Old family photos showed a seemingly normal man, but beneath the surface lay a dark and twisted reality. The dusty photo albums held secrets that had been buried for years, now brought to light in the wake of his arrest. The world was left to grapple with the duality of a man who had once been a trusted member of the community, now revealed as one of the most notorious criminals in history. He was charged with 13 murders, many other crimes. He was found guilty, sentenced to life in prison, no parole, justice at last. The Golden State Killer case was a turning point. It was a case that spanned decades, leaving a trail of fear and heartbreak. The killer, who terrorized California from the 1970s to the 1980s, was finally brought to justice in 2018. This case was not just about catching a criminal, it was about the relentless pursuit of justice and the advancements in forensic science that made it possible. It showed the power of forensic science. The breakthrough came when investigators used a novel technique called genetic genealogy. By comparing DNA from crime scenes to data from genealogy websites, they were able to identify distant relatives of the suspect. This led them to Joseph James DeAngelo, a former police officer. The meticulous work of forensic scientists, combined with the determination of law enforcement, showcased how science could solve even the most cold and complex cases. It gave hope to other victims. For those who had suffered in silence for years, the arrest and conviction of DeAngelo was a moment of profound relief. It was a testament to the fact that no matter how much time had passed, justice could still be served. The community came together, offering support and solidarity to the victims and their families. The courtroom scenes were filled with raw emotion as victims confronted the man who had caused them so much pain. Their cases could be solved, even after decades. The nightmare was over, but the memory remains. The Golden State Killer case reminded everyone that the passage of time does not erase the impact of violent crimes. The old case files, once gathering dust, were now pieces of a puzzle that had finally been completed. The victims, who had lived with the trauma for so long, could now begin to heal, knowing that their voices had been heard and their suffering acknowledged. A reminder of the darkness that can lurk. The case also served as a stark reminder of the evil that can exist in the world. The shadowy figure of the Golden State Killer haunted the memories of many, a symbol of the fear that had gripped California for years. It was a chilling reminder that such darkness can lurk in the most unexpected places, and that vigilance and perseverance are crucial in the fight against crime, even in the Golden State. California, known for its beautiful landscapes and vibrant communities, was not immune to such horrors. The contrast between the scenic beauty of the state and the dark deeds of the Golden State Killer was stark. It was a reminder that beneath the surface of even the most idyllic places, there can be hidden dangers. The legacy of the Golden State Killer case is a testament to the resilience of the human spirit and the relentless pursuit of justice, even in the face of unimaginable darkness.